Do you think that it's all nonsense? That any coin, any asset can go to any price any price? That is what I want to know. So comment below if you think that. If you believe that the likes of XRP can go to 10k, 20k, 30, 40, 50k, comment below. Because that's the kind of numbers that have been spouted out. And even on my YouTube comments, 10k and 20k by 2020 is like, wow, okay, give me 10 XRP and I will go and live off that right now. Hey, welcome to today's video. If you are new to the channel and you'd like to learn more about cryptocurrency, hit that subscribe button and press that bell button. Leave a like too. Now, this is going to be an interactive video. You need to comment below to take part because I need to know your opinion. Market cap. Yeah, we're going to go into it. Is it all bollocks? Or does it have some degree of substance that you need to kind of look at as well? Now, the reason why I've done this video is because of the video on the screen here. XRP, Ripple, swell, price hype, basically. And I wanted to talk about realistic price predictions for the swell. And my comments were quite good. I got a lot of likes, I got some dislikes. Probably the dislikes was from the first thing I said in this video. I said, we're unlikely to go to 10k XRP. I still believe that, but I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on market cap at the end of this video, because I want to see what you guys think. Is it bollocks? Is it real? Do you need to look at it? So I'm going to give you some scenarios here, and I want you to basically comment and see if you agree with one or the other, essentially, and understand certain things. Now, I've picked out a few little comments, and well, actually, we're going to go through them all. And I found some articles and stuff, so we're going to go through a few things. So, now, there's some people that have commented. Some of these comments have been obviously spammed away because people were getting a bit too aggressive with the YouTube policies and stuff. I'm not going to go fully into my account to get them out, but there's quite a few on there. In reality, though, you got to look at a few things. Now, obviously, some people are like, "Oh, decent video, subscribe." Please do like and subscribe; it'd be awesome. But there's some stuff here that people genuinely don't like what I said. They genuinely think that I'm being a bit of a dick, because in reality, you know, you got to look at this video here. Family vid 1. You know, not the nicest of it comments, but it happens. But you got to look at some other things as well. I'll be looking for apology when it hits 10k by 2020. I think that's a bit unrealistic. I'm going to explain why. But again, a lot of people like, well, what are you going to do? Ultimately, though, there's some good stuff in here that is quite interesting. Now, you got to look at a few things. Now, I've obviously put my little pennies in there to try and like get a bit of engagement. And for me, when I look at certain things of market cap, and this is the main reason why I'm doing this video, just to kind of look at stuff. And I'm going to just open this link as well. That's not a link that I've used, but I have used one. I'm not sure which one I've got. I've got it on a forum, basically, the XRP Talk forum. But anyways, ultimately, though, this has made me address it. What is a market cap and why does it matter? And there's a lot of comments here that, you know, are obviously bashing against Bitcoin stuff. And I ultimately own both. I am an XRP community member. I am also into the Bitcoin side of it as well, obviously, because I like to hold both because I'm hedging a bit, basically. So let's talk about a few things. Now, what is a market cap first and foremost? If you've like completely new, like, what is a market cap? Well, now you've asked. The market cap is basically the price times by the circulating supply, giving you the overall value of an asset. Now, with cryptocurrency, it's a bit different. If you are doing this on stocks, it's different. Why? Because a stock governs how many is for sale. With cryptocurrency, it's the supply in circulation. That circulation supply could actually be owned by the company, held away from exchanges and unable to be bought, essentially. You could argue the same with stocks, but it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different in terms of the governing of the overall value. Don't ask me how, it just is. Now, let's look at the myths. Now, I've obviously just put this article up this was on the comment. I'm not going to go through that one because I've not really fully been through it. And look, it's a big read. Now, let's look at this. This is the one that I found and I thought this is pretty cool. This is the same sort of stuff. This is by the same author. But I want to talk about a few things. Now, I want you to comment below. All right? Do you agree with this stuff? I.e. that, you know, there's two myths essentially. The market cap can be used to compare against each other, myth number one, and market cap can be used to predict the maximum value, myth number two. Now, I personally will give you my thoughts at the end of this video on what I use market cap for. You know, a little bit different. But do you think that it's all nonsense? That any coin, any asset can go to any price any price? That is what I want to know. So comment below if you think that. If you believe that the likes of XRP can go to 10k, 20k, 30, 40, 50k, comment below. Because that's the kind of numbers that have been spouted out. And even on my YouTube comments, 10k and 20k by 2020 is like, wow, okay, give me 10 XRP and I will go and live off that right now. Because that'd be crazy if that happened. Now, I want to talk about the other side of it. Now, this is number two. This is kind of interesting. This explains the market cap in a bit more detail in terms of how it actually physically works based off price. Now, it goes through exactly how it works. Market cap is quantity, is tokens, circulation, all kinds of good stuff, right? But myth. I want you to see if you agree with this side of it. Now, this is a side that I'm more on board with. Change in market cap is reflective of the inflow and outflow of capital into the market. In reality, that is not true because any price can happen. It doesn't matter. I could go 80 billion like it says in here and put it into it. It doesn't change the market cap by 80 billion. It's the price that governs the market cap. Okay, so this is where people get mixed up. People get mixed up in this because they essentially think that because Bitcoin has gone up by 100 billion in market cap, it means 100 billion of volume's gone into it. That's not the case. All it is a lot less than that in reality. It's based on the price. So in reality, tokens that are bought and sold in an open market will see price fluctuations that are dependent on basic economic principles of supply and demand. Sellers of the token provide liquidity, supply, and buyers provide demand. Market cap is reflective of the change in price of the underlying asset. So if you go and fire a load of money at Bitcoin, it doesn't change the market cap as so. What will change is if that price changes. So if you're going to double the asset class of a coin and it's got a fixed supply, say for example XRP, it's got a fixed supply, just say it's got a fixed supply for this example. You're at $1, and it says it here in the example as well. It's $1 and it's worth, say, 50 billion. If it goes to $2, it's now worth 100 billion. Does that make sense? Now, this is what you need to look at. Then we're going to talk about realism. That's the next bit. But this is the biggest problem with cryptocurrency with ICOs. You can think about it. You can put a coin on an exchange at a fair price of $5. But it's got billions, loads of them. That asset, even though it's been out for 10 seconds and literally just wiped its ass for the first time, is now worth more than most cryptocurrencies out there without time. That is a problem with the market cap. And this is where we need to try and govern fair price. And this is where we're going to start coming to my opinion on market cap. Now, when you consider all this and you think, where is it? Now, again, comment below. Do you understand what the market cap is in that way? So are you the sort of person where you use it for realism like me? Realism is key. Now, I want to put a few things out there. So comment below, essentially, and go, are you number one? Do you think that it is absolute nonsense and it should not be even measured at all? Or are you person number two? Do you look at it but use it for one thing only, and that is realism? Now, I'm on the fence on both, essentially. I've got splinters in my arse. Now, this is my overall opinion. Right. So, when I look at the likes of XRP, other coins, I like to govern to see on, basically, it's like quantum analysis. where you're using fundamentals and stuff to govern, is a asset fair price, right? So if I look at an asset and I think, right, there's X amount of tokens, it's actually quite expensive. That's what I look at. I look at realism. I would not want to buy into XRP if it's like 100 trillion market cap. I think it'd be massive. It'll be a huge price for starters. We know that. But in terms of the amount of tokens here, the overall value asset is quite high. That would make it like 15 times more valuable than gold. Would that be an expensive investment? Would it grow much more than that? You could argue and say it would take a lot more to grow more than 2 extra capital from that. So that's where it comes in with me. Is a valuable asset overvalued or undervalued? Governed by the market cap. That's how I use it. Don't hate me. So, what does this mean? Anything that's governed by a market cap is not impossible. Anything can go to any price. We know that. That's simple. Market cap is governed by price, which is governed by supply and demand. If there's a load of supply and demand of an asset to create a huge amount of liquidity, the price of the asset is going to go up, which would increase the market capitalization. However, we have to look at realism. Realism is key, because if you're Joe Bloggs and you're new to cryptocurrency and you want to buy XRP in 30 years' time and it's worth 50 trillion as an example, you'll be kicking yourself thinking, well, how much would it take for it to double? Would I get a 2x from this? The answer would be unlikely, because you've got to go from 50 trillion to 100 trillion, double in price, when XRP is already expensive. At that case, we've already won and we're already sipping bloody gin and tonics in Marbella or something. I don't know, random places. Now, that being said, comment below and let me know your thoughts. But for me, multiple gains are key. If there's supply, cool. If there's demand for it, even better. But if that market cap is low when you buy, it's always good for the longer term. So you've got to do your research. You've got to understand certain elements. So, that being said, what side are you on? You've got to answer that question. Are you that guy who thinks it's absolute nonsense and you don't care, you don't even look at it, you just buy it because you believe in an asset? Or are you number 2 and you look at the fair price? Now, I'm number 2. I agree with the first one. Yeah, cool. It doesn't mean anything in terms of like limitations. It doesn't matter. It could go to anything governed on the price. However, you've got to look at, as an investor, am I going to get my money back? Am I going to get a 10 runner? Am I going to make a load of money from it? That's what you got to look for. So, there you go. Today's video done. Hope you enjoyed it. That's my honest thoughts about market cap. You must use it in so many ways. You can't just go blind into these sort of things. You can't. But personally, if you see a coin asset at a stupid price and you've seen where it's been, you know, look for something else. Look for another opportunity that could give you that home run.